think we ready now.
I know. That's why I said good morning.
Good morning. Buenos dias.
There we go.
You got it?
Yeah, I'm good.
hmm So now we got to figure out how to do the intro and stuff just because, boom, we're there. Anyway, um,
You gonna say
I
something?
was trying to see how slow it is.
You can't hear it, so you
Yeah, I
can't
know, but
figure
I
out how
can I
slow it
can look and
is.
see. Anyway, welcome to another episode of the Love Brew podcast. I'm your host, Tommy T.
I am Artika.
She's the other host, and
it
today is Saturday.
is.
It is definitely Saturday.
First Saturday of the month.
Yep. So you know what that means.
What does that mean?
Rent's due.
Now rent
No,
is
I'm just,
late.
I'm just yeah,
If
by
you
now.
was paying rent, rent is late.
Yeah, by now. By now. It's been a week,
Good
man.
morning, Sharon.
I don't see. Oh, hey, Sharon. That's all
What?
you had. You made me forget what I was saying. Um, yeah. So it's been a week, man. The week's been going by pretty
Morning,
fast. What's
cousin.
up, cousin? Um, it's June. Summer has started. The kids have been fighting and getting on each other's nerves and our nerves, and you know, Lily's been talking sideways.
Oh, Lily's tried it with me a lot this week. Like in the last 7 days, I've thought about sending her to Jesus several
Well,
times.
I ain't never thought about sending her to Jesus,
I was
but
just like, girl, if you don't get out my face. So yesterday, actually, she had a doctor's appointment on Thursday. And I told her when we got back home from her appointment that we would start packing her bags because she's going to my mom's house next week. And so I'm like, yeah, let's start packing your bag. I forgot. So she woke up yesterday with a chip on her shoulder
mhm, she
about
is.
me forgetting. And she said, I'm going to pack my suitcase. Like, Tommy had brought her suitcase in. She brought it up to her room and she started packing. I don't really post a lot on Instagram, but if y'all follow me on Instagram, you saw what she packed. She had two blankets, one pair of socks, two Minnie Mouses, and just like four shirts and three pairs of pants, one pair of panties. And she was like, I'm ready.
Lily ready to get out of here. She done called your mama. She called her at least 4 times yesterday. Talking about what we gonna do when I get there. I was like, Lily, wait till you get
Mom
there.
has made her some promises about things that they were going to do. When she said Lily was packing the essentials,
Right.
she my mom was like, okay, so you can't have two blankets. You can bring one. You do know that I have blankets at my house. And she said, I don't think you need two Minnie Mouses. Just bring one. Um, and then I had to go through her clothes and try to make outfits
Yeah.
because she literally was just like, I like wearing these pants. I like wearing these shirts.
This I like.
These are what's going in there. So we went through, packed the bag. She packed a bracelet too because she said she got to be cute.
Oh,
And I was like,
Lily, something. Man, but
who is
I
this
tell you
child?
this though, Lily, like I'll go outside.
Hmm.
Oh, it's been getting on my nerves because it be hot out there, and I be wanting to go outside, do what I need to do, and then come back in real quick.
Hmm.
But they be wanting to go outside and play. I be like, all right, y'all been in the house all day. Come on.
Hmm.
So I went outside and worked out in the garage one day.
Hmm.
Boy, do I tell you, I look different.
Okay.
I look different now.
Hmm.
You know, but I'm gonna leave that for you.
Okay.
But just the song, I take my shirt off and all the they was talking about me.
Okay.
But no, like we went outside. Lily, I seen the worst push up I ever seen in my life
From Lily.
from Lily. Like I was like, you got to do push ups.
Hmm.
She was doing ground hunches. I was like, what are you doing? Terrible, terrible push ups. So I was trying to show her how to do a push up. Um,
Yeah, she came back in the other day and was like, I worked out with dad. I was like, oh yeah, what did y'all do? She was like, some workout stuff. So she don't really know what you
yeah.
be having her doing.
She started doing like I was doing like curls, and
Mhm.
so she taking her. It's cute. She
Mhm.
just doing this. She's like, yeah, can we go play now?
She
so
doing whatever she got to do to get to the playing.
so we started working with her and her glove. I
Mhm.
have no clue what I'm doing.
Mhm.
I just been like chat GPT in it
Mhm.
and watching videos.
Well, first off, you're giving a lot of effort for kids that are gonna be out there with mamas like me who just spent the money and bought the stuff, not going out there to do the work. Now
Mm,
there are gonna be some people that are gonna go out there and do the work. Like some that play softball,
yeah.
be like, "Yeah, come on, I love
Well,
playing softball. Let's get out here."
when it came to sports and football for me, I started playing football in 8th grade,
Mhm.
and everybody that like I was last one on the bench and everything, but
Mhm.
I had never played football before, and
Mhm.
so everybody that played ahead of me all played little league, had been playing, and this foreign sport to me, but my dad was good in it.
Mhm.
It's like so I naturally thinking like I should be able to come out here and do something.
Didn't happen that way, huh?
No, it definitely didn't. It definitely didn't.
um, I was actually talking to Lily's doctor's appointment last week was a neurologist. It was a follow up from her hospitalization. Thankfully, she's been all clear. Doesn't need to see the neurologist again. No signs of stroke or anything like that.
Good stuff.
But I was telling the neurologist that she's about to start playing baseball because she was asking about like Lily's summer plans. I said, yeah, she's gonna start baseball in a couple of weeks. She said, as a neurologist, that's a no. She was like, can she run track?
Next
She
year.
no. I was like, her dad has been looking for her somebody to run track with, but she's younger than everybody else. Well, she's younger than all the other kids in her
Yeah.
grade because she turns her age during the school year, whereas they,
At the beginning of the
yeah,
school
at the
year.
beginning of the school year, she turns 6, while all of them are about to turn 7.
Yeah.
Um, Pretty much right after her birthday is when the 7-year-olds start.
Yeah.
But I was like, yeah, she's not. We're not finding a group for her to run with as of yet. She's like, yeah. She was like, I don't believe in football. No, she was like, basketball is a little bit safer. She was like, flying balls and baseball and softball make me nervous. She was like, oh, Lily, I want you to come back just so I can make sure everything's okay. But she was really sweet. She was a resident neurologist, so
Good.
she still has one more year of med school. But she was one of the residents that saw Lily in the hospital,
Oh yeah.
so she was very familiar
Yeah.
with everything, and she had her detailed notes for what she saw and everything. But she remember I told you that they were late coming out. She was ready,
Yeah.
but the staff was late getting the kids into the exam room to like check their weight, check their height, like do all
Yeah.
the vitals and
Yeah.
stuff,
Yeah.
and then get them to the regular room. So when she came in, we walked in the door. She was like, "Lily, she's for me. Like I'm ready. Like
Right.
you tell me which room and I'm ready." And
Yeah.
like she literally like immediately walked in the room. She was like, "Ain't no waiting around here. I'm
Yeah.
ready."
That's funny.
What did Deshauna say? I'm trying to convince these people over here that the grandbabies need to be mathletes and chess club captains. I'm with you.
Well,
I
my,
didn't do either one of those. I surprisingly, I don't feel like I'm great at math, but I took one of the highest levels of math that my school offered.
good morning, high vibe.
Good morning. Um, but and I did okay in math, like in that class, but I've never felt like a strong math scholar.
Yeah.
But I've definitely been looking at the artsy things that Lily can do. I know that she's not ready to have to like audition for anything as far as like a school is concerned, because I did before we put her in her school. I looked at a performing arts school,
Hmm.
and they was like, yeah, they got to audition to get in. I was like, for kindergarten,
Hmm.
what is she gonna do?
Right.
And I was like, she's not a kid who been singing in church since she was 3
Right.
or anything like that. So we just gonna pass on this performing arts school.
No, I think with sports though, for me, right? For
Mhm.
me, it taught me how to work on things. Like the way the mindset that I have that it is nothing out here I can't do if I don't sit down and just like lock in with it.
Mhm.
Because again, like I was saying, I started playing football in the 8th grade, but I had to catch up to everybody. So I work
Mhm.
harder than
You
everybody.
were the outlier.
Yeah,
You remember that book?
I do. I think about it all the time.
I do too, specifically with Lily.
Not specifically with Lily,
Well,
but
specifically with her because remember that that example that they used for baseball. Like this kid was older than all the other kids, so he had more playing time than everybody else in
yeah,
his age
yeah,
group. And then this one was younger than everybody, so they had less playing time. I
yeah,
think about that with her.
yeah. I mean, ain't nothing we can do about that.
I know. I mean, it is what it is. But I'm saying I think about that a
Yeah.
lot with her.
Um, but yeah, it just builds a work ethic,
Mhm.
and it helps build the work ethic. And for me, it's more so of I want to put you in everything to see what you like,
Mhm.
just so the decision making is easier for you.
Mhm.
Like you know what you're good at, and
Mhm.
you're not trying to figure it out when you truly have to make the decision.
Mhm.
Track did a lot for me because I was able to travel.
Mhm.
That's how
See,
I was
that's
able
one
to
of those
travel.
things that for me as a parent, I'm not gonna just send my baby out here to travel. I'm gonna be like, well, we going too,
Yeah,
and how much
absolutely.
money is that gonna cost us?
I mean, like that's like when I ran summer track and I realized that parents are coming to these track meets.
Mhm.
I was like, when I have children and they run track, I'm there.
Mhm. Well, I mean, I've never had the question of would I be there or would I not be there. I be looking at the bottom line of how much is this gonna cost me.
And I'd be like, well, we got a budget for this too. Like
Yeah.
and that's the thing. It's certain things that I'll probably let them like go on their own with,
Mhm.
but like number one fan
Yeah.
is us. We're their number one fan. I don't care how good or how bad. Now I'm gonna tell you if you suck and you need to work on it.
And my mom was saying that about my first orchestra performance. She was like, "Y'all were terrible." Like it was. She said, but I would not tell y'all that in the moment. She was like, eventually y'all did get better because like we went on to like win awards as a
Yeah,
collective
yeah.
group that was playing together. But she was like, y'all were
I don't know
trash.
what I was watching, but they was like not telling the girl that she was bad at it.
Oh, she the
Oh,
people.
she the people,
Hmm.
and, and the girl just out here playing volleyball, and boy was she bad. I was like, y'all can't tell that she bad.
I mean, going back to what you said is like you say that sports gave you your I could do anything. Like I just got to figure this out
Yeah,
approach. I'm still trying to figure out what in life has made me hyper fixate on things
I don't know. I don't
because
know if that happens with everybody
I'm talking about me
though. Yeah,
specifically.
yeah,
Because like I think about like when I decided to lock my hair,
yeah,
I was like, internet, teach me everything I need to know
yeah,
about locks. And it was like, don't like this method, don't like this method. Okay, I could do this.
yeah.
Let's learn more about this. And then it was like a hyper focus. Even with recently with planning a cruise, you would think that I had never been on a cruise before.
Yeah.
The way that I was like, all right, tell me about this ship. What this ship got? What can my kids do?
Yeah.
What about this? What about that? So
Well, technically, this one is a first
it's
because
a first on that line,
yeah,
but
you going as a parent.
cruising. But I'm saying cruising in and of itself is not something that's foreign to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like I wouldn't be doing this if we was just going to stay at a hotel.
You right. You right, Ray.
I would probably do the research on what type of breakfast they have, like what's nearby that we can go do, but never like gotta figure out, learn everything about
Mm-hmm.
this. Like that's what sparked me to finally finish the the trainings
Oh yeah.
that I was doing for these cruise lines because I had started them like 4 years ago. Never.
You sound like me in this CPA exam.
Um, I did the other day finish the first Disney set for somewhere that I'm just trying to figure out if I could afford to stay there, would I?
Yeah.
You know how there's some things that you're like, even if I had that much money, I wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
I'm like, would I?
Hmm.
Cause $7,000 for 4 nights, would I? If I was rolling in it,
I don't know.
I don't know. I would. It looks beautiful, but I just don't
Start
know.
rolling in it and then come back to that question.
Oh, it was a text message. Where's my phone? I sent my best friend yesterday. I sent Ace. Let me find it. It was really funny. So I was like, "This is my type of delusion." It was a girl that said,
I
um,
know this
"Oh
girl.
gosh, where is it?"
Why you looking for that, man? I just watched Ricky Smiley's stand up Foolish.
Mm-hmm. Was it good?
Yeah, I was sitting there. I didn't know if it was gonna be good or not. But
Mm-hmm.
Ricky Smiley, to go back to answer the question about who to host the cruise,
Mm-hmm.
Ricky Smiley is the perfect
You know,
person.
I added a new person to
Who?
my list. Ryan Cameron. He's not syndicated,
Yeah,
but Ryan Cameron.
I can see that.
It says my goal is to have $60,000 in my bank account by summer, and I already got $4.87.
The
Motivated.
goal was what?
60,000
By the summer.
by this summer.
When was that set?
No, this was a screenshot I sent Ace, and I was like, "This is my type of delusion. My goal is to have 60,000 in my bank account by summer, and I already got $4.87. Motivated." I said, "This is my kind of carrying on."
Man, that's what you got to do, man.
What she say? I'm still stuck on the 7K for only 4 nights. That's disrespectful. Oh, it is. And as I was going through and looking at everything that the resorts offer, I was like, it's also not even all inclusive. So, like, what are we doing here?
Let me my simple self thinking 7K was all right, cool, but it's not.
We haven't gotten there yet.
Yeah,
You got to also remember, we're traveling from Georgia to Hawaii.
yeah. I didn't know where we were going.
Like it's a lot of factors that like the price keeps going up.
Yeah, yeah.
Like we're 7,000 base level.
Oh, if we was driving to Hawaii,
No, and we ain't factoring in no gas. If we was driving to Hawaii.
if we
But,
was driving our car to Hawaii,
But
new
now I'm
tires,
on
two oil changes.
what am I on now? I'm on Disney um land things like Disneyland, Disney World,
Yeah,
Magic Kingdom, all
yeah,
of that
yeah.
stuff. So learning about that now, which again, been there, but don't feel like we did it to our full
I do.
capacity. No, because like we didn't do the lightning things to ride rides,
What?
the lightning passes.
Why we got to do that?
I didn't say you had to do that. I'm saying we didn't do the full thing.
No, we okay.
We didn't go to Animal Kingdom.
We okay.
What's the other
All
one?
right, man. I hear you, man. I hear you, man.
No, 7,000 is not all inclusive.
That's funny.
I was like, man, I'm just gonna have to stay somewhere else. And when it starts looking like you can stay at the Ritz Carlton for cheaper, you be like, what are y'all doing here?
Yeah. This food better be amazing.
Man, what are y'all doing here? And I'm like, I've never stayed at the Ritz. I've been in the Ritz, but I never stayed at the
I
Ritz.
better be able to eat this food and taste it tomorrow too.
You hear me?
I'm still full from last night. Type food.
Speaking of all inclusives, before we get into the stuff that we had listed, there's this girl that I just randomly found on YouTube.
I know this girl.
This month, I believe,
said,
is when I
what's
found
your
her.
name?
And she has been traveling around Asia
Mm-hmm.
and trying food, talking about like what she spent in a day, what she ate in a day. And I happened to find a video of her in Thailand. And
It's not Thailand. It's Thailand.
whatever. And she was saying
probably
that there were all inclusives there that were really inexpensive. And I was like, that's not a place that I thought to like look for an all inclusive resort.
Oh
And
yeah.
I was like, so now gotta do it. Like gotta dive into them to see what's available and out there because
Right. I could go see the what's the thing
for
in
7K you
Montana?
could and inclusive. Right, because like our flights plus hotel, granted this was 9 years ago, for our honeymoon we only spent like 2,200, 2,300, and it was like, what are we doing here, guys?
Mm-hmm.
But definitely want to look into some of those all inclusive resorts. And then there's one, like, I would never do Thailand with my kids the ages that they are. One, because they don't eat anything,
Yeah.
and I'm not about to create this new issue of children crying on vacation because they can't find anything to
Yeah.
eat. So they definitely got to be older with much better palates.
For sure. Um, I forgot what I was talking about.
I don't know what you were talking about either.
I don't either. Well, I guess we get on into it.
Okay.
Paul Pierce won't get a prostate exam because it's gay.
So there's a comedian that I follow that posted about this, and he was saying, "Come on now, Paul, like, be for real." And so I was like, "What is he talking about?" So I went and I found the clip, and I sent you the clip for it.
Yeah.
But it was just like they were like, "Aren't you at the age where you should be getting a prostate exam?" And he was like, "Yeah, they ain't finna touch my prostate."
Because they was saying it's the male's G spot,
Mm-hmm.
but
It's in, as Tiffany Haddish says, the booty hole.
right. That's a no fly zone.
So apparently everybody becomes a doctor
Yeah.
during this, and people are in the comments saying, "Well, you could just have a simple exam, where they could take your blood and find out if you're testing for whatever it is that's elevated in your prostate when you have prostate cancer." I was like, who knows if he's doing that, because he didn't do a very good job of saying that he's a health advocate.
Yeah.
Now, what I don't want is
Man.
for Paul Pierce to get sick
Yeah.
and then start these PSAs
You go get your prostate checked.
for things. And I agree, Paul Pierce is a poster child for ignorance, because
What do you
who
do?
did he get fired from?
Having strippers.
No, who, like what company?
I think it was ESPN.
Okay. He got fired for having strippers in the background.
Yeah. He was like, they didn't strip though. They wasn't naked.
It's like,
I was like, he got drunk on KG's podcast when they was watching the finals, and he was saying all types of stuff.
it's
I
one
was
of
like, come on, PP.
it's one of those things where if something wild comes out about you, there will be no shadow of a doubt that you did it.
Here come,
The angry boy.
yeah.
Probably frowning now.
He is. He crying. He just went back in the room. Everybody don't look
He
at
strikes me as the type who will skip a regular physical anyways,
him. He does.
because he was healthy back in the day.
Yeah,
Like, that'll be his rationale.
I just don't, like, because we know it's so many things that's popping up today, and so much cancer and all this and all that. It's like, bro, just if you can, it leads me into the show, into the movie I watched yesterday, Straw.
I didn't watch Straw.
Yeah, y'all need to check it out, but be prepared, cause
Did you cry?
I didn't cry,
People been saying they cried.
but I was like, dog, this thing is sad. But
yeah,
it's
he
it's so,
definitely skipped the psyche val. He needs to like stay.
man, it's like, man, you have to go make sure that you're okay, because the foods that we have, the foods that are available to us, is killing us.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's we're getting into, society is getting more back to like growing their foods and paying attention to being healthier, but we have to get away from the convenience factor of foods. Me and my nutritionist talks about this, and this is crazy that I say this.
What, that you have a nutrition?
Yes.
I mean, I have one now too because of you.
Yeah, me and my nutritionist talks about how if you're trying to do right by food, right? Because my biggest thing or my biggest issue with food is the relationship that I have,
Mm-hmm.
right? If you're trying to do right by food, it's not convenient. It's not easy, because all the healthier foods cost more.
Mm-hmm.
And in a time where money is an issue for everybody, it's like, well, I'm finna go on over here and get these sandwiches for $1 from McDonald's or Burger King or wherever I go,
Mhm.
and that's my daily value of food. I ain't finna just get two burgers and say, all right, I'm cool, or one burger. Come be hungry 30 minutes later.
The like looking at food from that standpoint of like I was telling Tommy this morning. Let's start from the beginning. This morning I told Tommy I was like I was 300 calories under my goal for
Yeah.
yesterday. And I was like, but I was fighting the urge to go get a Snickers ice cream bar out the freezer. And I mean, it was a uphill battle. I
Man.
wanted that thing, but I didn't eat it. I went
Yeah.
to sleep.
Yeah, yeah.
But just like this culture of trying to be healthy and then finding out all the additional things that are like added to foods, like
Yeah.
preservatives and all that stuff, like make something that's traditionally healthy very, very unhealthy. And then like you try to grow your own food, and that's the thing. Like I just saw yesterday that there's like a massive tomato recall in Georgia.
Yeah, like that's another thing. It's like how don't you knowingly, right?
Mhm.
Knowingly, and I'm talking about Paul Pierce again. How is it that you knowingly know or knowingly
Mhm.
say I need to get a prostate, but I'm not gonna do it because this is
This gay.
quote unquote gay,
Mhm.
which in the sense of it, it's not
Mhm.
because they're checking you. Because if that was the case, when you go to the doctor, men like they grab they
How old is Paul?
I don't know, he's old. They grab your testicles and tell you to cough. What they used to.
47. This man is almost 50 years old and it's not giving elder behavior.
Right. Man, the crazy part about it is when I used to get physicals in high school, I
Mhm.
had this she was a cute blonde, I don't know her name.
Mhm.
And she like gave me a physical twice.
You didn't see what just
I
happened?
did.
Oh, okay. He saw the all done for now thing,
Yeah.
and he was like, "Let me put this back on the charger." Then he saw it was clear. He was like, "All right, let me come back over
We
here."
good. We good. Oh, so I had a cute little blonde doctor,
Mhm.
and when I was in high school, she gave me like two physicals, and I was like, please don't wake my man's up. You know how embarrassing that like the not even embarrassing that it happened, but just the conversation that proceeds because both of us are sitting there looking at it.
That's something I never thought about. Like,
That's something
you
I
didn't
think
get
about.
physicals for school from like your actual doctor. You got them from somebody on
Like my
campus.
doctor.
Oh, this
Yeah,
was at your doctor's
yeah,
office.
at my doctor's office, and they had like
You want to sit with me? I know. Sit
right. That's the part right there. Is like, man, you don't want to hear nothing sad about like what he got to talk about because you could have prevented it.
down. Mhm.
But it's also goes into the psyche of men.
Mhm.
When it comes to going to the doctor and being comfortable with going to a doctor, um,
I
it's
tried to cut it down.
it's not really something that is promote
It
is
is yours. I know. There you go.
something
You
that's not
stink.
promoted
Mhm.
well. Like because obviously women go to the doctor because they have to.
No, they don't have to.
I mean, you gotta make sure your stuff will start stinking if you don't get it checked out.
No.
Anyway, that's why I don't have one.
It's not necessarily how it works.
Man, but I'm just saying, man, it's internal things that you gotta get checked out.
Yes. Everybody should have
Right,
things checked out
right. But
internally.
more so women than men.
No.
Anyway, just let me have it, man.
No,
Just let
I'm
me have
not.
it.
Because that type of misinformation is why men die first.
Anyway,
You ever think about that?
no,
That
no,
women live longer for that reason because they
because
go get checked out?
because they're more responsible than men when it comes to health things. Anyway,
Sure.
um, but it's not a thing that men promote. It's not like it's like men crying like what we talked about a few weeks ago.
I don't remember.
Men don't cry because
No.
it's not something that they say. Hey man, it's okay to cry. Man, I thought he was finna fall out this chair. What is wrong with him? He looked like he just woke up and trying to cause havoc, stomping off and everything. Did he poop?
I think so.
Can you go change him?
I'm about to.
Oh, okay. Why this man walk in the kitchen like he stumped off, then walked into the kitchen, opened the fridge like he just paid bills here? I'm gonna start charging him for these things, these fridge. Anyway, Paul Pierce, man, I hope he gets it together as far as like trying to get his health together, cause that's crazy. And that's something you shouldn't promote and let people know. Like, bruh, like go get your stuff checked out, man. Any men listening, man, get checked out, man. Don't wait on your girl to tell you need to go. Ask her to help you. You know, that was a ask that I had with Artika, is that she helped me like go to the doctor, like help me find a doctor and you know and huh. Oh yeah, but it's like, man, help with that. You know, not don't just let a person that never did it before go out here and try to figure it all out by himself, because that's just doomed for failure. You know, so that's crazy, huh? Just the idea that a man 47 years old is like, um, he don't want to get something done or checked because the act of it is quote unquote home. Right, right. Oh, y'all can't hear Article. She said he ain't got nobody in his corner because Scripples um, are behind him, and they're just a money grab at this point. Speaking of a money grab, I don't know if y'all been following this Diddy case like I've been following this Diddy case, but this Diddy case is wild. He probably on the DL. Wait, wait. Oh, I thought you was finna open the door. I was finna say the alarm's still on. But this Diddy case has been wild, man. They ain't been protecting people's identity like they supposed to.
So the reason I put that in is because like first they had the girl Mia, the assistant, and they went so far as to basically be like, Tommy,
Huh?
which Tommy? Tommy that's from Chattanooga that live in Atlanta now.
Yeah.
Tommy that works at so and such and such. Tommy whose first job was XYZ. Like, it was no way that we weren't gonna find out who this woman was. Like specifically like with Mia, she was like, I did this at Revolt and I was this at Revolt. And then I pitched the show to ABC and it got picked up. And it's like all these clues and all we have to literally do is just Diddy assistant ABC show. Tell you
Yeah.
her name.
Yeah.
It's like, why are we acting like this was some like secret thing?
I
Like it
don't
was very easy.
I don't know what they would do to protect these people's uh identity outside of not having them sit up there and testify.
Mhm. And then Jane Doe.
Which
I
one was
was in a
Jane Doe?
relationship with a high profile rapper who's he and Diddy are not like they're enemies. Then it was just so many qualifiers.
You know how you had the blurry
Mhm.
thing over somebody's face,
Mhm.
and they be like,
Basically, that's exactly what it was. But when I was reading, um, I don't remember if it was just yesterday's or the last 2 days, because I kind of caught up on both of those last night. I was reading through the like somebody compiles like what CNN, Washington Post, and one other news outlet post and puts them together. And I was like, you do all of this willingly for love, because that's what she kept saying. I did it for love. I did it for love. Like, he's my partner. I wanted to make my partner happy.
yeah,
And you mean to tell me you have nothing to show for it? Like, He had you staying in an apartment that you'll never own.
Yeah. Oh, you talking about the girl?
Jane Doe. Well,
Yeah.
both of the people that I mentioned were girls.
But we knew the no name girl, Jane though.
Mm-hmm.
It's not we
What trying to
figured it out.
say? If they were really trying to protect identities, they closed the gallery for their
That's how
testimonies.
they do it.
Yeah,
They have a transcript of what was said.
yeah, but that would be if the transcripts are released.
Oh,
Like, of course, like we're definitely this case in particular is making a lot of content creators a lot of money. Um,
shoot, we need to start covering it
no.
like a
I
like
feel
a
like at
daily news
I
station.
feel like at this point you're too late to jump in because this is like day 19.
Yeah,
Like you're too late to jump in now. As far as being like one of the bigger people who, because a lot of people are have flown there
yeah.
to sit in the courtroom to like people are literally when the court recesses for lunch are going outside
He
and
said, "All right,
recording
I'm out.
videos
Ain't no more applesauce
to
in this
make
thing."
sure that you knew what happened the first
Yeah,
half of the day because they need to be the first to get the news out.
yeah,
And in this case, at least the great rush of getting the news out is that these people have seen it firsthand. They're giving firsthand accounts of what happened in court.
yeah,
Go get the juice. But when you go into like other things where people are rushing to be first, they get things wrong,
yeah,
like very wrong.
yeah.
Um,
I'm just it makes me think about Usher's song "My Life in Your Entertainment."
mhm.
And now, like, cause I always wonder what this boy slammed my refrigerator one more time. It makes me think about like why is this case so interesting?
Mhm.
You know that we're into it,
Mhm.
and like for me,
We know the players.
for me it's more so of Diddy wouldn't. I have never been a true fan of Diddy.
Mhm.
Like I thought, okay, he made a lot of money. What did he do to get that? Because that's where I want to be.
Mhm.
But like I didn't think he was a great rapper.
He's not
I didn't think I thought he did business well because he's a businessman who
shady.
have found some success. Um, but I didn't like the way that he treated people.
Mhm.
And for me, the interesting part is how he actually treated people.
Mhm.
And that's what's coming out, and I'm like, I looked at the Shine documentary.
Yes, I miss those days, Deshauna.
Was that
She said, "Y'all remember when Qual was little, and he couldn't do anything but sleep during the show?"
I do remember that.
And I miss it sometimes
Yeah, yeah,
because he just be like, "I'm going in the refrigerator. I'm
yeah.
gonna bring you something." He's slamming doors. He's stomping,
Because he showed
screaming.
stomped off the first time.
But at least he's playing ABC
Yeah,
Mouse.
learning something. Um, but nah, like it's you're looking at these guys and you're seeing, okay, this guy really was treating people bad.
Mhm.
This really was happening. Or you think about yourself like, how freaky is this guy?
Mhm.
To because with this last girl, she just basically was I'm looking for the word I can say
She
online.
was a worker.
Yeah, and it was disguised as they in a relationship. I would never treat my girl like that.
There was one time where she basically was like, there was a revolving door of men. I don't remember if that was the time on her birthday
Yeah, that's
or
what
what.
you was telling me the other day.
But she
Yesterday.
was saying that it was basically like one guy left, another guy came in. That guy left, another guy came in. Then she also posted that she would get reoccurring infections that wouldn't be gone by the time she had to do it again. And I was just
What
like,
happened if she said no?
oh, he would be like, you just can't do this one thing for me. Everything I do for you, you can't do this one thing for me.
Yeah, nah.
Quad definitely has main character energy. Like this
that's
is his show.
that's hilarious.
We're living in his world. One of these days, I'm gonna attach Tommy's GoPro to him
And just see where it goes.
and just see what happens that day.
He gonna pull it off.
I don't think so.
He's going to.
Mm. Not if we could find like a little child harness,
Yeah.
put it on like a vest,
He's gonna fight it until somebody takes it off of.
put it on like a vest, or you just give him something fun to do and he'll forget his own for
That'll
a
be
minute.
hilarious. I need to find my little GoPro.
Hmm.
What I need to do is like lay out all my cameras and start utilizing them.
Oh, there's a video that I want you to record. Side note, I'll show you the example of it later. What she said, we watched this man treat people horribly for decades. Everything we're hearing is horrible, but not unexpected. Absolutely.
Now, some
Like-
of it is unexpected for me.
What is unexpected for you?
Like all these freaky tales. You know, that's a movie and a song.
Okay.
These are the tales, the freaky. Anyway, yeah. It's
I
crazy
knew
that
that
it's
there
going
was-
down there during Black Music Month too.
Well, it didn't start in Black Music Month.
It did.
There was definitely some things that have
Can we
always
talk
been
about Black
questionable.
Music Month?
Have we?
Can we?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's definitely some things that have been questionable about his relationships, specifically the overlap of people. And for me, even the like passing of Kim Porter has always felt very, very suspect.
Mm-hmm.
And like Al B. Sure says he contributed to his health conditions. And I'd be like,
What's wrong with I'll Be Sure?
he ended up in a coma, I think.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, Diddy had something to do with it.
Oh.
But what she say? I have an issue with her calling herself in a relationship with Diddy. She was a worker. She absolutely was a worker.
Yeah, it sounds like the way that she described it sounds like a
The problem is
exchange.
that she benefited nothing. She has no financial gain from this work. And like he discouraged her from doing OnlyFans.
yeah.
And I'm like, at least you would be in control of your money. And the girls were making good money on OnlyFans, specifically during the pandemic. We were talking to someone else, I won't say who, YouTuber, about someone that they know that was doing OnlyFans. You forgot this conversation
I
already.
did.
On Sunday, we talked to them. My question is, how is Jennifer Lopez not coming up in all this?
Because she was a part of the Shine documentary. We ain't talking about the Shine situation.
J-Lo was like, oh no, they got guns?
Yeah.
I am done.
I am outta here. I don't know what type of game
I
they
don't know
playing.
what y'all got going on, but guns? No. And I'm still convinced that he had something to do with Biggie's unaliving. I absolutely believe that too.
Yeah. I think not with more so with Pac than Biggie's.
No, I believe Biggie's too.
Yeah.
But it's so many major players that are completely silent, haven't heard a thing about like
Wouldn't you be silent?
I would be silent, yes.
I would be. If I was any association with Diddy in my
Cover your
entire
mouth.
life, I would be like, please don't call my name. Please don't call my name. I don't want to be a part of it.
But like, thank you. One of the things, like the bad boy artists, like this had to have still been bad in the '90s because Mace left and found Jesus.
Mm-hmm. He came back too.
It's something going on, and I be like, Faith Evans got some stuff, some skeletons in her closet too, because there's no way that you was through all of this unscathed,
Yeah.
and then ended up
Hey,
with
man.
Stevie J.
Get your finger out of there, man.
It's a lot going on. It was something that you just mentioned. I don't remember what it was.
About Biggie.
No,
About what?
I don't remember.
Oh.
Don't worry about it. My brain's not working right now.
The Biggie duets.
Okay.
That's when I found out that Biggie was like a better rapper than Tupac. To me, in my opinion.
Okay.
Lil Kim. I forgot about Lil Kim. Cameron said the other day on his podcast that he wrote a song for her,
Mhm.
and it became his biggest song. I really mean it. But you probably never heard it.
A song for Lil Kim.
Yeah,
What was the song?
it's I really mean it. I think that's the
That's
name
the
of it.
biggest song of his career.
No, it wasn't the biggest song of his career, but it was a huge song that he did. Um. Anyway, that's just
But yeah, there's
Black Music Month.
like there's the oh that's what it was.
What?
The Black Music Month.
Oh,
That was like you just said something. But Lil Kim losing her house,
she lost her house for what?
like
Just not paying.
yeah,
Oh,
and it was only, and I say only because of who she is.
yeah.
It was only like a $1.2 million home,
Oh, that's a lot.
but the money that Kim has seen in her
She
life,
probably don't have it no more.
her house should have been paid off, is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
But that's kind of
for
like
sure.
Kim Zolciak from Real Housewives. How you buy a house in a foreclosure?
And lose it
Yeah, because she kept taking out liens against it,
for what?
gambling, or allegedly.
Oh. So
Anywho, Black Music Month.
Black Music Month, and I don't forget who I was talking to about it, but I was like, Tiny Desk makes me so happy every June because they celebrate Black Music Month.
I was reading something that they were trying to celebrate like big albums
Yeah,
for people, like 20 years, 30
yeah, yeah,
years,
yeah.
blah blah blah, yada yada
That's
yada.
smart. That's smart.
And I did not watch the A Marie one,
I
but I
did.
saw some clips. I was like, I don't know if this was a good one.
See, so I was gonna talk about E40 first.
I didn't watch it. I'm not an E40
So
fan.
I like E40.
Uh-huh.
Like it's his style, his vernacular.
I realized that I am not a West Coast rap connoisseur.
I'm like I don't like the West Coast is different for me.
Hmm.
You have to be a really really big artist or a really really dope artist for me to be like, oh yeah, because I can't get with the beats.
Hmm.
You know, I'm a Southern guy. Like I need to hear 808s. I need to hear bumping the trunk.
Hmm.
Something that's gonna. I need to feel the music.
I don't think I watched his Tiny Desk. I might have to go
Who's
back
that?
and watch it.
Scarface.
Scarface.
Oh my God.
My favorite one has been Juvenile,
Oh my God.
like,
Scarface had a great one.
but across the board, it's been Juvenile.
Juvie. E40s was good. You know, not a lot of people knew his music. Again, it's an E40, but I knew the music and I could get with what was going on. A Marie though,
Hmm.
great choice. I don't think she should have been a big artist because you know they have those small ones, right?
Hmm.
The smaller artists.
Hmm.
Um, but she did pretty good. Her songs were like you remember her songs and stuff, but it's just something that like you wanted more from her, but she couldn't give anymore. She gave what she got had.
Hmm.
Um,
She said Juvie's Tiny Desk even got me, and I'm not even a rap fan. So one of my cousins that I actually graduated from high school with was in love with Juvenile.
oh yeah,
Like that was Word Up magazine posters.
yeah.
Any feature of Juvenile, he was
Juvie.
never like the fold out guy,
Yeah,
but she was cutting out the small pictures.
yeah,
Like Juvenile was her
yeah.
guy, and I don't know, like I because of her, I listened to a lot of Juvenile growing up, and so like
Sprinkle me, mate.
Juvie's it for me. Like that was a really good one.
Oh man. Nah, I'm trying to think. Scarface was really good. Scarface was good because the music is good, but also because of the stories he explained. And that's
Mm.
what a lot of things I like about the.
We've seen Scarface
Oh yeah,
live twice or three times.
I'm not sure how many
I
times.
know it's been at least twice.
I'm not sure,
Yeah.
but the way he explained his songs and how we got here and what happened here, I love that.
Hmm.
Charlie Wilson was another.
Charlie was a good one.
He had a good one where he explained where he got here, and then I learned something from him and his drug addiction.
Hmm.
Um,
I think it's crazy that his wife was like his sober coach.
yeah, hey, it happens like that,
And I'm
man.
like, Ain't that against the
I don't know.
rules?
I don't know. But no, I really enjoy what Tiny Desk is doing. And last year, Juvenile was the big artist at that capped the month off. So I'm curious to see who they have this year.
hmm
But
Did
also,
do they put out a list or we just get surprised?
I'm not sure. I'm surprised at this point.
Okay. Look, I'm about to look that up.
Speaking of Black Music Month, the great
Who was the great?
Lil Wayne put out an album.
Is
Um,
he the great? Okay.
no, yeah.
Yes, and how his son was in the studio. I love his collab with Pac. It was touching.
Oh yeah, I love that. But Lil Wayne put out the Carter Six, and I still got to listen through it all.
hmm
But when I started it yesterday, I made it 3 songs in, and I was like, I gotta listen to this later. And then for some reason, I started looking on social media.
hmm
You hear um, some people are like, yeah, it's a great album. It's Carter 2-esque, and I'm like, it's not.
I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I wouldn't be able to pinpoint any of the Carters and what songs was
Really?
on them. I didn't like. I know that Lil Wayne was like all the rave
Yeah,
when like we were like what was that 17, 18, 19,
20, 21,
that era.
22, 20.
But I just never. I would listen to Wayne's radio songs, but I've never attempted to listen to like a Lil Wayne album, mixtape, nothing. Lil Wayne needs help. He looks like The Walking Dead. It's so sad to see him deteriorate like this.
Yeah,
He does look terrible.
yeah. Um, the issue that I have with the album is you're looking at it, you're listening to it, and it's like, dog, this not the same Weezy I used to listen to when I was in college, or the
hmm
same Weezy on that rock album. You know, your lyrics are different. Your it just sounds like you're rhyming words at this point. You know,
Not saying anything clever.
yeah. Um, I gotta listen to it fully through, but it really didn't hit me like a Wayne album would.
I didn't know that they did a Tiny Desk tour. That's interesting.
Man,
Scarface
I
is a
never enjoyed
poet. The
Wayne's
lyrics on my
studio
block,
albums,
man.
but the mixtapes are yeah. Good morning, Doug. But yeah, man, the mixtapes were the thing. But man, Carter 2, Carter 3 for me like was of course he had the Block is Hot 500. Is it 500 degrees that he did?
400 is the album.
400 is Juvie.
hmm
Yeah, 500 degrees. All that stuff is
You asking the wrong person
yeah,
to
I
be a
know,
Wayne
I know,
historian.
I know. I already sent the text out to Steve and Greg
Uh,
yesterday. Like, what's y'all thoughts on it? But it's like,
they don't have an announcement. Like we just
oh,
find
they
out.
just dropping them.
Yeah.
It's like all these albums were good, and you got to see the growth, and I think that's what I mostly liked about it.
Mhm.
But then with this new album, with the songs I've heard, you also see the downhillness,
Mhm.
of his, you know, lyricism, because the lyricism is still there, but it's not hooking and grabbing 38-year-old Tommy.
It's kind of like Kanye. I enjoyed.
Kanye dropped Donda too.
I enjoyed an a very distinct era of
Yeah,
Kanye,
yeah,
and once he got out of that era, it was no longer enjoyable.
right.
But I also think a lot of that has to do with um, when you're rapping from a certain standpoint, you will draw a crowd because they can relate to you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, first thing that comes to mind with Kanye is if my manager insults me again, I will be assaulting him.
Yeah,
Everybody that has worked retail has wanted to
yeah, yeah.
pop their manager in the mouth at least once.
Mm-hmm. I
And
miss
it's
the old
like
Kanye.
once you get beyond that, it's kind of like, I don't really understand where we're going with this
Yeah,
because the lifestyle is different
right.
and the things that they're rapping about are different. Like, we don't want to hear someone that we know is a multimillionaire so many times over rapping about the struggles of working at the Gap.
Yeah,
Because
no,
at this point, it's not relative, but also the things that you will be rapping about aren't relative to us either.
right.
So it kind of draws a divide, but then also drugs.
But then, then also drugs. But no,
Also,
like
there's drugs.
it's the growth factor.
Uh-huh.
Like, cause I Jay-Z, one of my favorite rappers, and Andre 3000. This is 3000's whole case of
Mm-hmm.
quitting rap.
Mm-hmm.
Is that
I am not that guy anymore.
right? And he never talked about like
Right.
he talked about smoking weed,
Mm-hmm.
because that's what they did when they was in their 20s.
Mm-hmm.
He talked about being a dad,
Riding the martyr.
you know,
People getting to fighting in the hood.
right,
He's not around for that type of stuff
right.
anymore.
He's not doing any of that stuff anymore.
And y'all don't want to hear him play the
Right.
flute.
He's popping up like who's the Martian on the Flintstones? I think his name was the Martian. No, it wasn't the Martian. But it was the little thing that popped. You didn't watch the Flintstones, did
Not
you?
for real.
Oh my
Like I
goodness.
watched it, but
But you know who I'm
I
talking about
didn't
when they
watch
had
it.
the little thing pop up?
Yeah.
That's how he pops up
Yeah.
in the hoods today because he did that flute
His hood,
concert.
he that was set up
Right. Of course it was
by
set up.
somebody else,
Of
and
course
then
it
he
was
got
set,
on out of there,
like,
and I'm out.
but it's that factor. It's you have to grow with your music and not
Just
growing with
move
your
my
music.
mic.
Yeah, that's all you gotta do. Not growing with your music causes you not to have a good album.
Andre is a rich older black man now. He's a Renaissance man.
Yeah.
He just he says things like "you got it" every time you talk to him about absolutely nothing.
The finger point.
hmm
But no, it's
His kid is grown.
yeah.
He ain't really got a lot of other stuff going on in life.
Yeah.
You know, I'm good.
Right.
Traveling.
I'm just out here.
This my old lady.
I'm out here enjoying life, man.
Yeah.
That's it. But it's that factor, and I think that's what we're hearing with Wayne, on his new album. I gotta listen to it some more for sure, but um, just what I heard, man, and it makes me think about like the music today, like what black artists are we listening to today that's giving us what we need, you know?
Not listening to today's rappers. I think the most recent rappers that I gave a chance as far as like I know some of the words to some of their songs is probably like the Migos era.
Yeah,
And
a hummer, hummer, hummer. I love that.
I don't be knowing the words to their songs.
they cadence is so nice, man.
It's just they was on the radio.
Not-
But they put me in the mindset of like Gucci,
yeah,
who was definitely like my era of
yeah,
I'm going out music.
yeah.
So
I also think the R&B is taking a hit, especially with men.
mhm.
You know, we don't have a lot of men that's truly singing R&B.
Mhm.
Um, I think Coco Jones is one of the ladies that's actually going to help.
It's so funny.
Music.
One of my friends was like giving me Cleo soul songs to
Yeah.
listen to. And I was like, this makes me really tired.
High vibe. Every last one of them are classics.
I have one record.
Yeah.
I need to go work on more of their records. If I could just get Big Boy and Dre Presents as a record, I know that they're not gonna
Look,
do that.
I have that
What, as a record?
as a CD.
No, I have it as a CD,
Do
but
you?
as a record, if they would just give us Big Boy and Dre Presents, I would. We be
Yeah.
cleaning up on Saturday mornings to
I remember like
Outkast.
I remember getting that CD, thinking it was a new album, but it's the greatest hits, and I was like, "There's songs on here that I heard, man. Rosa Parks. I remember, man, just cleaning up, dancing to it, and stuff like that. Peekaboo.
it's like he's like nobody's thinking about me. What can I do to put myself in here?
Let me put myself back in. But no, man, celebrate Black Music Month, man. Just go listen to some music. I think it's dope. I think it's cool. Any new music that you heard, let us know
Hmm.
in the comments.
Thank you.
This other thing that's on here, actually, Derek Carr. Let me explain. I tried to explain a little bit to you yesterday,
Mhm.
and it warranted a question, right?
Mhm.
Derek Carr is a quarterback from why'd you
I told him to go check on her.
uh Derek Carr is a quarterback for the Saints.
Mhm.
This season, I think he's supposed to get like $30 million or something like that.
Mhm.
Um, so him getting $30 million on this contract, to play the season, play this next season. He
Mm.
chose he
Okay.
chose to forego
Come on.
that 30 million,
Come
and it
on.
might not be 30 million, but he chose to forego that and retire.
You said Derek Carr.
Derek Carr. Um, and what's going on was he's 34 years old, and he played 11 seasons in the NFL.
Mhm.
What's going on
It's
is
okay.
he had a shoulder injury,
Mhm.
and he was gonna get surgery. And he was like, instead of taking the Saints' money, I'ma just retire.
Mhm.
Because he was just gonna be on the sideline because he's gonna be out for the season.
Why would they have paid him that type of
It's
money?
in his contract.
Oh, okay. So this isn't a guaranteed.
Nah, I think it's just it's yearly. Like if he retires, he forfeits the contract or whatever. I don't know how it works,
Mhm.
but him retiring eliminates him from getting paid like that. Um,
I guess
would you,
for.
my question before you answer anything,
Mhm.
my question is, in that situation, not from a standpoint of like take the standpoint out of you need the money
Mhm.
because we know like you if you get a certain amount of money at this point it's ridiculous,
Mhm.
right? Like
I don't know how much money he has.
I don't know what's your number to say
I
okay,
don't have a number.
okay, your number to say like okay I made it and money is just a number to me at this
I'm
point.
not gonna lie to you. I've had tens of thousands of dollars in my bank account, and I know how to spend that really fast. I've never done millions.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna challenge myself to spend it really fast, but
yeah,
I think I could do it if I needed to.
yeah.
But however, also, do I think that I could make sound investments and be able to live off of what I've made? Yeah, I think it just kind of depends on your mindset and what you're looking at.
Hmm.
I definitely know that when there's a lot of money involved, you have to figure out how you're going to make this money work for you later on. Because most people spend money like they're going to continue to make money for the rest of their lives
Hmm.
and not necessarily investing said money into anything. But then there are other people that make a lot of smart investments, and people be looking at them like, why aren't you spending money? Like the person that comes to mind with that is Ocho Cinco.
Hmm.
He was like, yeah, I was buying fake chains
Yeah,
because I I needed the look of being rich, but I wanted to keep my money.
yeah.
So I mean, I don't know how having all these kids helps you keep your money, but that's another story for another day. High Vibe said 20 mil,
Yeah,
but
it's his base salary of 30 mil that he was forfeit.
yeah, I'm sure that there was some type of contract negotiation in the
Um,
back office, like, hey, we'll give you five, call it even.
I would ask for a job like the
Absolutely,
like
because
the
coaches be making
yeah they
money.
be making bank. But what he said he was comfortable with his decision on retiring because he enjoyed his time away from football.
Hmm.
And which I get it, you know what I'm saying. And then you look at how old he is. He's 34 years old, and he made all this money. Now
He's
it's
got more time behind him than he would have ahead,
right.
even if he were completely healthy.
Right. So it's like now that he's, shoulder injury. He's not really bringing. The Saints ain't going to the Super Bowl next year because of him. You know, him saying that I didn't feel comfortable taking the Saints money like that, and I felt better being retired. I was like, I get where you're coming from, but I don't know if I can make that decision. And it's coming from a person that's not a millionaire.
Right, but you look at a lot of people. One person in particular that comes to mind for that, Candy Burris.
Hmm.
Candy walked away from Real Housewives of Atlanta to be able to do other things.
Yeah,
He might not be able to make a $30 million paycheck doing what else he's doing, but what if whatever else he's working on is more fulfilling to him?
yeah, yeah,
So it's like, if, let's just say I walk away from 30 mil, but I can make 10
yeah. Hmm.
doing something that I really enjoy doing, still being able to see my family on a regular basis, not having to, put my body through all of this, and I'm really living,
Yeah.
it makes sense.
No, I get you. I hear you. I'm just saying I wouldn't have been able to make that decision.
I think that if you were in that position, like the years that he's had in the league,
Hmm.
with the money that he's made, it makes the decision very different.
Yeah.
But there's also a group of people that would have had his years of time in the league making the money that he was making, and they still would have been like, nah, give me my 30.
Hmm. Yeah.
And they still have to show up at everything as if they're going to be playing,
Yeah.
even though they're not.
That'd be me. I'd be in a sling right there in the room. This is what you need to do. I would instantly become a coach.
But
Um.
yeah, I definitely think that like trying to get on the staff would be something that I would go for. I
Yeah.
might not make my 30 mil, but I definitely keep a consistent paycheck.
Hmm. Because you gotta. It's too much time to not be doing anything. Like I wonder what's his plan now. You know. Speaking of somebody with a like that needs a plan, Kilmar is his name. Kilmar Abrego
Garcia.
Garcia. I truly feel bad for this guy. Kumar Garcia
Hmm.
is back from El
It's
Salvador.
Kilmar Abrego Garcia.
Yeah, I feel bad for him because um I guess he's still an illegal.
No,
He's a is he what is he?
he is American.
He's American, right?
Yes.
But he wasn't born here.
I believe he was born here.
I don't think he was born here.
Oh wait, to his native El Salvador. So I think he is a permanent resident.
Okay, he's supposed to be here legally.
Mm-hmm.
And the issue that I have with him is
Deshauna, he's the guy that was deported illegally from the U.S. back to El Salvador,
no, he was put in prison in El Salvador.
but he was deported
Yeah, yeah,
to El Salvador
yeah.
illegally.
He was yeah. And the courts, I think it was the Supreme Court, said, "Hey, you need to bring him back."
Hmm. And it took a long time to get him back here.
Right. And
But so everything started with a traffic stop in Tennessee,
yeah,
and they said that he was trafficking migrants.
yeah,
And so he never, from what I saw, got charged with that
yeah,
when it initially happened. And then he got caught up in these ICE deportations and got sent back to El Salvador, or got sent to El Salvador.
mm-hmm,
And then they was like, nah, you got the wrong guy. Bring him back. Now they're trying to try him for the trafficking
mm-hmm.
of the migrants.
And that's where my heart goes out to him because he got a family here and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what he was doing.
Mm.
You know, I don't know his history. I don't know, if he was like what happened. All I know is the Supreme Court said that this man is wrongfully into El Salvador. He needs to be back.
Mm-hmm.
And it's weird. I'm like, This
What you?
I don't know what she said, but these like the ice stuff and all this stuff, man. It's heartbreaking because you seeing people like another kid,
Mhm.
17-year-old kid, a volleyball player, was detained. I think it happened in New York or somewhere up north. He was detained, and like the whole school was like, "Why? He's always like he's been here. Like he was uh like here since he was 6."
Mhm.
And I'm like, bro, like he didn't come over here by like it wasn't his choice.
I was reading a story, just to bring it local. Buford Highway is like a large hub for Central and South American migrants.
Yeah.
Like everybody over there speaks Spanish.
Yeah.
And they're saying that a lot of the businesses are starting to fail because people are afraid to come over there because they've been doing ice raids in that
Yeah.
area.
Yeah.
And they're like, all these people are not illegal,
Right.
but people are like, they don't speak Spanish. I mean, they don't speak English, and they're not about to get caught up
Mhm.
in stuff because you can't prove anything.
Right. Right.
So it's just like they're like business is down in their area, and I'm like, I could definitely see that, and it's also got to be really difficult for people in that area to continue living and working when your business is down and there's a big threat for your business.
Yeah.
I see him.
Oh.
Sorry.
Big wave.
Mhm.
Um, they it likens to the back in the day where like black people had to um
Walk around with freedom papers.
yeah, it's the craziest thing
Mhm.
that you like you've heard of. Like I get like it's a bunch of people coming over here illegally
Mhm.
to figure out a better way.
But there's also these really big stories of people that are not here illegally, not committing crimes, and just getting deported.
That's what I'm saying. It's like people that are here legally
Mhm.
and getting deported, and it's like, bro, like you have to figure out a better way, and you can't just one shoe fits all because it don't. You know.
The pathway to citizenship in America is really, really interesting. And I remember texting one of my cousins a few months ago. We were talking about like what's on the citizenship exam. She's like, the average American wouldn't be able to pass
Mm.
this. They don't know. Like we weren't paying attention in an American government class. Like no, we don't know.
Yeah.
And it's like I get that we don't know, and it's difficult for us to get past this because it's like you see people who are treated really unfairly, but then you also see people like Melania, for example,
Yeah.
stayed over on the visa and she cool
Yeah.
because she in the White House.
Right. But it's like the way I look at it, man. It's gonna backfire. You truly don't treat people wrong and expect a great outcome.
Hmm.
You know.
Deshauna, I definitely understand that. One of my best friends is from New Jersey, Asian. Her parents uh, both came here as kids. Her dad doesn't speak a lot of English, but she's like she is um afraid to travel internationally right now. Or I shouldn't say afraid, but she's concerned about traveling internationally right now cuz she's like, what if people just assume that because I'm Asian, I wasn't born here? And she's
Yeah.
like, I got a passport. Like, I'm
Yeah.
an American. I got a birth certificate. I was born in New Jersey, but it's one of those things. Over 130 people from 58 countries. I just couldn't do it. I'm scared they'll get detained for no reason. Yeah. There's a content creator, Miss Cora, who went on a cruise, and she said that on her, it wasn't like a big to do, but she said it did definitely make her feel away. She's Her family is from India, and she was born here, U.S. like U.S. citizen, But she said that when she went on her cruise and she had to come back through, they they pulled her to the side. They asked to see her phone. They tried to go through her social media, and she was like, "Y'all, like I'm a citizen. What are we doing here?" She was like, and had I acted differently, it could have definitely gone differently. But it's one of those things where it's like she's like, out of all the people that I was with, why was I the one randomly selected?
Yeah. I just think it's sad. You kind of looking at it and you're like, dang. Our fellow Americans have to go through that, and you know, we, I don't want to be political because I hate talking about politics, but
I don't like that statement. Like
but
people like I don't like to be political. Our entire lives are political.
like I know, but it's like it's the thing for me is like obviously I didn't vote for Trump.
Hmm.
But it's you we're
Well,
sitting
according to Elon, loosely said, a lot of
right,
people did.
right. Um, we're I just thought about that because they feuding, but it's you're like, what is this guy doing?
Hmm. It put how vibe. It puts us definitely in like the New York City stop and frisk.
Yeah,
It's like we can do it because we can,
yeah.
and it's like nah, but don't touch me.
It's hard, bro. I've been looking at like all type of stuff. Like I watched the police frisk. A guy was getting off of work, and I don't know what made me stop and watch this. A guy was getting off of work, and it was a cop who says this looks suspicious.
Hmm.
The guy, the cop, stopped him and immediately was like, "Give me your ID." And he's like, "What I do?"
Hmm.
Like obviously, like I always think about what do I do in that situation, right? Because I live by the ideal that you go home to your family or you stand up for like to another man,
Hmm.
because at the end of the day both of us are men and women, and most of the time I'ma always pick my family. Like what puts me with my family, keeps me safe with my family. And I was just looking at that situation. I was like, man, that's a crazy situation because he ended up getting arrested um, for resisting arrest.
How? It's like shouldn't that just be thrown out? Because if I'm resisting arrest,
I
what
had to.
what was I getting arrested
What was the
for?
initial crime?
Right.
And he was just waiting on his yeah. It wasn't a crime. He had literally just got off of work.
Mhm.
He's waiting on his ride, like he got an Uber or a Lyft or something.
Mhm.
And he was waiting on his ride, and instead of showing the officer his ID, or just like I think he asked for his ID, and he was like, "Man, I'm just waiting on my ride, man. I ain't doing nothing, just waiting on my ride." And the officer then was like pulled his taser out, was like, "I'm gonna tase you." If he said something else, he was gonna sick his dog on him. Um, then he was like, "You're being detained."
Does this police officer still have a job?
This police officer, and the guy is still in jail. I think
I don't understand.
the charges are still pending. She put you out.
We got the ugly face too.
Yeah,
Anywho, y'all, we about to wrap this up.
yeah, yeah,
The kids are fighting.
yeah. Oh, buddy.
Lily's been putting Quad out of her room a lot lately, and
What's
it
up?
really be hurting his little feelings.
What's up?
Like he come through with the sad face, and he just wants to love
Sit down.
her,
Sit down.
and she be like,
You
"Get
alright?
out
You
now."
alright? You alright? Okay.
He all right.
All right. Let's
He
get
got
out
a
of here.
tear on his face
He
and
do. He do.
everything.
He gonna work himself up. Anyway, guys, it's Saturday. Get out here and enjoy the Saturday. Stop, man. Stop. Get out here and enjoy Saturday, man. Enjoy the weekend. We do have a video coming.
Don't listen.
No, we
Okay,
do. We
I
do.
know.
It's uploaded and everything.
Okay.
It's just waiting on. It's waiting on the beautification of things.
Okay.
Um, so we got a video coming this week. It's about Lily's desk that I built. So check that out. What else? What else? What else? Um, that's all I can think of. We love you guys for hanging out with us this Saturday morning. Go out, grow some grass or something like that.
Not grow some grass.
Be lovely this weekend. So with that being said, guys, we out.
Bye, y'all.
Peace.